Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I read this timepiece. It's really extensive, it's long, and it's yet another attempt to not only control a narrative built on a media military industrial complex through big tech monopolies of platforms and information, but it does so by lumping in racists, white nationalists, right? Bigots with what? Conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theorists, by the way, that are never really named in this article. And there are some real highlights here that I think really need to be addressed. The language in here, how these companies have to be more proactive. The fact that you see these platforms that do begin to raise up through hard work and big numbers and personalities that are getting banned on other platforms. And then what happens? They're labeled racist. Okay? Everybody's like, well, you can put this on anything you want. Now you see what's happened to BitChute, right? It's suspicious. You see they've already marked up Ben Swann's new platform. It's suspicious. Even Ban.video, it's suspicious. And by the way, Ban.video is banning Millie Weaver. They're taking her channel off on Monday. So even within, big tech's call for censorship, some of these alt platforms are already censoring. Now, obviously, that's a different situation than what we're seeing with BitChute and Dlive. But this piece really begins its focus on Nick Fuentes, who I don't have a huge opinion on. I'm sure that, we wouldn't get along on a lot of issues. But when I was in D.C., and Jones put on that symposium, he was there. He did, out of the very small gathering, because again it was done on the fly. It didn't have a huge amount of people. Maybe 150 people showed up, like tops. But that's where I did hear Fuentes speak. Like, for the first time, I was aware of who he was. But Rob Dew kept talking about groypers. And I'm like, and he'd be like, yeah, Burmis, you're a groyper. I'm like, what the fuck is a groyper, dude? At the time, I had no idea it had anything to do with Fuentes at all. So it's the America First stuff and all that. And that's the other thing. They lump in, again, you have white nationalists, you have anti-Semites they want to put in there, they have, racists, and then it's conspiracy theorists, right? And everything, what is a conspiracy theorist? The other thing is they bring up all the big names in, like, white supremacy. So, they bring up David Duke, Richard Spencer. Somehow they lump Fuentes in there as well. And I saw some quotes. I don't know if they were taken out of context, but this is a real bad hit job. And then you look at people that they don't mention, like Dan Dix, that are getting banned across platforms, right? And I think it's something that we really got to look at and go over, especially now that malinformation has entered this picture of big tech censorship to secure elections, right? So before we get there and into the article, which if you go all the way up to the live chat, I just put in the live chat thing so you can check it out yourself. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, share, join the Burmis Brigade. Remember, you can also support me over on rockfin.com if I get kicked off, because they're also calling for other platforms that are getting big to censor people, And although I haven't been fully censored yet, again, it's 4 months fully demonetized. So at Rockfin, you can create a free account. You can follow me there. There's tons of free content. If you want to support me, you can. And there'll be a ton more free content if they do kick me off of YouTube, because I won't have a choice. And really what's upsetting about this Time Magazine article is it's a broad brush. Yes, Dlive is the focus, but these other platforms are next. Basically saying, no, they're supporting hate speech, hate speech, hate speech, hate speech. Okay? So you can also support me over on GoFundMe. Now, GoFundMe is actually mentioned in this article, and as you know, they've frozen my account a couple times this month, but they say it was processing errors and weird stuff. They never said my account was under review for anything else. And in case everybody is unaware, just so they know, I do this because I want to be transparent. Number one, right? PayPal's great, but they also deplatform people. People tell me to do a Patreon, yeah, but they deplatform people. I go down the line, they deplatform people. I do it through there because number one, I'm not a bigot. I'm not a racist. I don't promote hate speech. If you want to debate me on any subject matter and try to smear me as a quote-unquote conspiracy theorist, please bring it on. And I am someone for more speech, not less speech. So all those people that I just mentioned, right, that you would put in those categories of quote-unquote hate speech or bigots or racists or whatever or supremacists, I don't care, they should have their free speech too, period. All right? And they kind of go with this false misnomer of demonetization and then deplatforming isn't enough. We have to be more forward-thinking and pro-thinking, and we're going to give this into the hands of what? Big tech and the police and law enforcement. Or they just say law enforcement. So again, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Big donors. I can always use you. The links are down below. Follow me over on Twitter as well, guys. That's where right now I double stream for the most part, just in case. And they say that, you know, they have these other accounts. Well, I mean, if I'm going to get kicked off of this, what am I supposed to do? And it's not like I'm killing it over on Twitter and Periscope. It's not like there aren't problems over there as well. We talk about these technopolies, okay? But subscribe, share, check out the t-shirt shop. And in this, you know, one of the things they say is that Dlive, for its Twitter account, changed their moniker to All Lives Matter. See, we don't take that here because you can't say that and then all of a sudden not be associated with white supremacists. So what I want to point out to everybody that's watching this, all right, or somebody that I would see on the street as I approach them, your life matters. To me, your skin color, guess what? It does not. It's the content of your character, not the color of your skin. Now we can start talking. Because obviously I think police brutality is a real issue. It's something I've covered for years and years and years and years. So let's have that conversation. So here we go. And by the way, I have a Dlive account. I've never posted anything to it. I don't have this BTT wallet thing. I think that I'm going to have to create one after reading this. Okay, so like I said, it starts with Fuentes. But when we start getting to conspiracy theorists and they start talking about how, you know, these people want to compete with Twitch and get all this traffic. Remember, all the big names in bigotry are who they name, right? But then later on, they talk about how 22 others, let's do it live, Control F. 22, is that what it was? Yes, it has to be 22. So let's see. Yes. So they say 22 other extremist personalities streaming their commentary was 39%, while he was 56%. So now they're basically saying that 95% of the traffic on the site were extremist creators, and that only 176 of the 15,000 viewers on the top 20 channels on the site were not watching accounts linked to far-right figures. And they talk about networks here. All right? And by the way, look what they're saying. Alarmist footage of racial justice protest. Think about what you're telling me right now. So they're showing you real footage of what's going on. See how they're shifting reality, the malinformation thing? Yeah, it's real information. We don't like how you're presenting it. So, first of all, race is not an issue to me. It's never going to be an issue other than the fact that the media and others make it a bigger issue than it is. And most common people, okay, all right, that don't cling to ignorance understand that, okay? You shouldn't be out in the streets shouting, white power! White power! I mean, come on. Give me a break. But I don't like any kind of supremacist organization. So now conspiracies linking 5G networks to the spread of COVID-19. Now, I'm going to take it a step further, and that's not even what they mean there. You talk about 5G in a negative manner, now they'll go even further with it and bring in COVID-1984 because we're living in COVID-1984. And then also, look at that, anti-vaccine propaganda. So when I show Bill Gates saying that they don't know if these vaccines, number one, will work to what? stop the transmission of the virus, these verbatim, or lower the death rates. He says that, okay? He then acknowledges, 80% have side effects. I show that. I show that he's openly saying he wants to lock you down till 2022. Is that also malinformation? Is that anti-vaccine propaganda? I mean, luckily I haven't been pinned, but you see the Orwellian nature of all of this, right? So, they need to be more prepared to tackle right-wing extremism. There's the America First and the Groypers. When we get down to the real nitty-gritty in the bottom, all right, that's when they're talking about law enforcement, big tech ruling over your life. And they don't like that people are actually making money, okay? That's the whole thing. They don't want anything that's sustainable. In fact, Control F, let's see, GoFundMe. There we go. See? The payment processors like PayPal and GoFundMe have all shut down accounts by far-right agitators, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists. Excuse me? Well, I don't qualify as any of those, but far-right agitators? Again, and then right in that same paragraph, there's David Duke and Richard Spencer, and they just can't wait. And they're like, well, Reddit does it, and Facebook does it, and Amazon does it. Amazon bans feature films about child abuse, right? Amazon bans Truth Stream Media and The Minds of Men. There could not be anything further from something that's racist. In fact, it shows the real racists at the top, the predator class, exploiting people's racism and poverty to what? Experiment on those groups. But no, that's banned on Amazon. All right, and they talk about these purges have hardly solved the problem. They just have these backup accounts on Twitch, Dlive, and TikTok. Oh, BitChute. Blah. Blah. Of course, they throw in conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, and that's the height of it. We got Alex Jones off the internet. Ha, 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 ha. He was off YouTube, Facebook, and Apple. Others are quickly adapting, though. Oh, no. And they have this whistleblower. And, by the way, they are always using their own language like analysts and experts say, and somebody on Twitter said, this is a breeding ground for Nazism. I mean, talk about lowbrow journalism, man. That's it. It is as lowbrow as it gets. Let's get to the bottom. And they talk about the ascension of this platform by recruiting PewDiePie a couple years back. But here it is. See, there it is. Analysts warn that both U.S. law enforcement and big technology companies need to move quickly to hire experts who understand this new extremist ecosystem. Experts say the mainstream platform's recent purges are reactive. They patch yesterday's problems instead of preventing future abuses and focus on high-profile provocateurs instead of the underlying networks. They want more and more and more and more censorship. And they're mad. They're really mad that there's 13 million subscribers on NBC and ABC News, and they can only have an average concurrent of 6,100 people because nobody believes them anymore. And why should they? I get it. You're a mouthpiece for that media military industrial complex, Time Magazine. Now, is that malinformation? Am I using that to attack an organization? I mean, give me an effing break here. Give me an effing break. So guys, I need your support now more than ever. Thumbs the video up, subscribe and share. Join the Burmist Brigade. Check me out on the alt platforms. Rockfin, Rockfin, Rockfin. That's where I will be the day they kick me off of this platform for some selective enforcement, Johnny nonsense with no strikes, right? Just like they did to Dan Dix. And that's sad. And for now, we're using GoFundMe because I shouldn't have to cow down to the mob that's demanding I curb my speech. The thought police are not going to restrict what's up in here, okay? And they're not going to restrict me from showing you the obvious evidence of mandatory vaccination legislation That's frightening for your children, like we did with those New York bills. How dare I? How dare I go to the website where they provide the bill and download the PDF and then show my audience how to do it? That's harmful content. And then say, hey, this doesn't seem right to me. Anti-vaccine propaganda, Time magazine? I mean, give me a break. They want to destroy every single piece of reasonable discourse between people so they can understand one another and present real information to one another. Why? So they can make an informed decision outside of what the predator class agenda is. So $5, $10, $15, big donations mean the world to me. Remember, check me out at Rockfin. Make that free account now. You don't have to pay, and there's exclusive videos that are free as well. Instead of including some throwback videos from back in the day. All my documentary films, they're free in the playlist section right now. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. Please, again, thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share for now. You can check me out in the t-shirt shop. I am proud of this one. I think it is a conversation starter. I think it comes from the heart, and hopefully, you can start talking to somebody instead of talking at them and having them talk at you. Talk with them. I love you guys. I'll see you on the flip. Thanks for joining me.